Hello everyone and welcome to the NinjaTrader Ecosystem webinar event with Tom of ChartPros. My name is Juanita Archuleta and I am the platform representative here at NinjaTrader. I would like to mention that it is important to understand there are substantial risks in trading commodity futures contracts and Forex. You should carefully consider whether such trading is suitable for you and will depend on your specific circumstance and financial resources. It is possible to lose all funds deposited with your broker and could even incur losses beyond these amounts. Please inquire at the following link for a full copy of the CFTC risk disclosure or if you have any additional questions regarding the disclosure. Please remember that these training webinars are not a solicitation nor a recommendation, but simply educational in nature. This webinar is presented by NinjaTrader LLC, which is the technology company responsible for developing and supporting the NinjaTrader trading software. Brokerage-related questions should be sent directly to the NinjaTrader brokerage by using the phone number and email address that I am going to go ahead and place in the room right now. The NinjaTrader ecosystem website is home to hundreds of third-party apps and services all centered around the NinjaTrader platform. With new tools and services added nearly every day, NinjaTrader ecosystem, With new tools now nearly added every day, NinjaTrader ecosystem is home to hundreds of apps and services. You can quickly and easily find tools or services that you are looking for with a keyword search. You'll also find information about upcoming webinars using the link that I just placed in the room. For all up-to-date information regarding the NinjaTrader ecosystem, we do suggest that you follow us on social media. So if you have a Twitter or Facebook, please go ahead and follow us on both of our accounts. NinjaTrader is always free for advanced charting, strategy backtesting, and trade simulation. To ensure you are on the latest version of NinjaTrader and pick up a free live data trial, please use the following link. You're also welcome to purchase or lease NinjaTrader using the following link. And if you are just getting started with NinjaTrader, we offer free live training on a daily basis. You can also view an upcoming schedule of our weekly webinars using the following link. We're very excited for this unique event in which Tom will teach 5 price action charting tools necessary to improve confidence and increase consistency in your trading. Thanks again for your attendance, and without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome to the NinjaTrader webinar room, Tom. Please go ahead and take it away, Tom.
Great, thank you so much. This is Tom Winterstein, and I will begin to share my screen here in just a moment. There we are. So we're getting started here, and as the title was presented to you, how to use 5 price action tools to boost your confidence and improve your consistency. And you know, what a great group. I thought the poll was excellent, and so many people here, not only for the first time, but even more people here for education. And that's exactly what we're about, is education. Again, my name is Tom Winterstein. Unfortunately, Michael Perigo is not able to join us today. He had a last-minute personal matter that he had to tend to. But I can assure you, you're going to get everything that we promised through the system. And so what we'd like to do is just kind of start out with a little bit of background about ChartPros. And we are a leading provider of market education and related services with technical analysis and laser-focused, precision-oriented technical analysis levels, really at the crux of what we do.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
I apologize. Do you mind making your presentation into the presentation view so we don't see like the notes that come with it or the upcoming slide?
Yeah, okay. I didn't know you could see that. Let's see.
You might have to do escape and then go ahead and do from current slide up at the top underneath home.
Yeah, that's what I did, and it put up the speaker notes and all that stuff.
Maybe just try to hit it from the beginning and it. Oh, actually, do you see over here it says use presenter view under Acrobat where automatic is? It's to the right and there's a checkbox. Go down. Go ahead and uncheck that and then hit from current slide or from beginning, whichever you prefer.
Yeah, it doesn't want to change on my end. I think Zoom has kind of hijacked it.
Okay, go ahead and stop screen sharing for just a moment and then reshare your screen.
Sure.
I apologize, everyone. Sometimes Zoom's just a little finicky, so we just want to make sure you're getting a view of the presentation. Thank you in advance for your patience. So you should be able to restart that screen sharing.
Okay.
Is it allowing you to select start screen sharing, Tom?
Yeah, but it's not getting rid of the things. I've tried to expand the slide in the center of my screen. I'm not sure what it looks like for you at this point.
That should be fine.
Okay. So again, my name is Tom Winterstein. I have over 20 years of trading experience, futures, Forex, commodities, things that you see there on your screen. I'm also a certified mental performance coach that I acquired that a little over a year ago. That has helped me in a lot of ways, not only personally, but it's helped me with my trading. It's helped me in a work environment. It's helped me working with other traders. And we'll get into a little bit more about that later on. We've got our website and our social media links up there as well. And just a little bit about the 20 plus years of trading. Back when I started, I was kind of like everybody else. I knew absolutely nothing. But that time frame was in the middle of the 1990s, so to speak, when the dot-com heyday and before the dot-com bubble burst. All you had to know how to do was buy and hold. And then, buy low, sell high. And that was the only strategy that was needed back then. And it worked until it didn't. And, there's a lot of things that's happened in my trading career that some of you have probably lived through. Some of you may have never heard of. When I was in graduate school back in the late 1980s, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped nearly 25% in a single day. Okay, I was not trading back then, but think about what would happen today if the markets dropped nearly 25%. I think that would be the ultimate panic. Just, hundreds, if not thousands of points off the ES, off the Dow. There's a lot of safeguards that have been put in place since then, but one of the reasons I kind of infuse this into my background is I haven't seen everything, but I have certainly seen a lot, the cycles and everything. So what I'm trying to do is leverage the experience that I've lived through, that I've traded through, and share it into our education products and related services to our members. And so basically the approach that we take is we want to teach people how to trade for themselves. And we do that with foundational and baseline education and knowledge that people can take and adapt to their own styles. And so essentially it's an old adage, an old saying is if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Well, you can interchange trader, you can intertrade women, not to on that. But essentially we want to teach you how to do it, not to do it for you. And so that's an approach that's not for everybody. We realize that, but for those that want to embrace their own trading journey and acquire the knowledge and education that it takes to get to where they want to go with their trading goals, this is what we offer. And in many cases, we believe that the fewer and less things that you have on your chart can be more and powerful. And so we've listed some of the products that we offer here, and everyone that's registered for this will have access to our free introduction to price action trading. And we're going to make that available to all the people that are here today. And I think anyone that watches the recording or wants to get to it later, you can get that as well. But we actually have a price action mastery certification course. There's about 30 lessons in the course. In a quick environment, you could get through it in 30 days. Realistically, it's more like 1 to 3 months. We are launching an advanced futures course later this month. We have a chart subscription service where we offer 14 charts daily, and it's important to note that it's not a signal service. We don't provide indicators. There's really no studies on our charts. There's no third-party tools. It's all native to NinjaTrader 8. And one of the things is, again, we want to teach our traders how to trade and rely on themselves, not get a text message and say, hey, buy now or sell now or whatever happens to be. I mentioned we offer performance coaching and mentoring. That's not typically where people start with us. We have an ebook. It's more of an article, How to Become the Casino. Kind of more of a catchy title than anything else. But what we want to do is put the probabilities in our favor from a trading perspective. And we all know that if you've ever been to a casino, more times than not, the probabilities and odds are in the casino's favor, not the player. And so what we want to do with our technical analysis is put the probabilities and all the odds on our favor. And there's never any guarantees. People always ask, hey, can you guarantee me a level's going to work? The answer is always no. But what we want to do is stack the edges. We want to put things as much in our favor as possible, and we're going to show you those tools today. Lastly, on our website, too, you can take a trader readiness assessment survey. So if you've never traded before, or if you've traded for a while, or anywhere in between, it kind of helps us get an idea where you are and where you might be able to start, with your trading education with ChartPros. So when we talk about mindset and psychology, that's a big thing, because one of the things that we hear the most from traders is, I've been trading for a while, I've lost some money, I've made some money, I just don't have enough confidence in the system I'm using, and whether it's technical analysis or signals. And when you don't have the confidence, really what that leads to is a lack of consistency. And so what we try to do is infuse into our education system a mindset and psychology that incorporates risk management, and there's no one size that fits everybody. We realize that. So we will provide risk management guidelines, and so you define the personal tolerances for yourself. We talk about trade execution and management. We treat each week separately. So our first trade of the week is a very highly scrutinized trade, where we need to make sure we've got as many things in our favor, stacking those edges, being the casino, having the probabilities in our favor, so that we can start the week with a win. Because if you can start the week with a win, then you can leverage positive equity for subsequent trades for the rest of the week, and then you can get a little bit more risky if you want to. You can adjust your style within risk parameters. But conversely, if you lose your first trade of the week, we also teach how do we get back to net zero as quickly as possible, so that we can start from scratch, and we want to get to a positive equity for the week. And we treat each week as a zero-sum game and build off of that. Some important nuggets when you're looking at mindset and psychology is you have to focus on the process over the outcome. And so many times people are focused on the outcome of making money, that they're not focused on the process. And what I mean by that in examples, and I was guilty of this earlier in my trading career, the fear of missing out. If you're focused on that, that's your focus. You got to focus on the process, not the outcome. If you are chasing trades, if you're early to trades, if you're late to trades, if you're revenge trading, that is not, focusing on the outcome, which goes hand in hand with aligning your actions to your goals. If your goal is to make money, you can't be chasing trades. You can't be entering early. You can't revenge trade, because those actions are not aligned to your goals of earning money. Leveraging positive equity. We teach people, if your first trade of the week is a winner, well, you can slice that up 10 ways, and your next 10 trades can all be on the house's money. And then how do you recover from a loss? And so we integrate all of that into our education and into our teachings. And so when it breaks down to it, the only 5 chart tools needed. And you don't have to use them all the time. And many of these you're probably already familiar with. But the first and foremost one is support and resistance, and support and resistance across all time frames. When we start charting, we start with all the data that we can get on a chart, whether it's a indices future, whether it's a commodity, whether it's a Forex pair, whether it's equities. It doesn't really matter, because the chart is a chart, and the tools will apply themselves to it. And so support and resistance at a monthly level, weekly level, all the way down to daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. I know people like to trade down to the 5 minute. The technical analysis will work across all of the time frames, on any of the charts. But it's very, very important that you start at the highest levels. And I have learned firsthand personally that support and resistance levels, at a monthly, at a weekly, and a daily level can have just huge impact on intraday trades if that's what your style is. Trend, I think, a lot of people understand what trend is. That doesn't mean that they know how to trade it, okay? Supply and demand is a term. There's no supply zones on this particular page, but when we get into some other charts, I'm going to give you examples of what they are. Change control. You see this kind of gray thing through the middle. I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, but through the middle is change control, and it's a definition where, inside this little box, the bears nor the bulls are in charge. You can see where price can respect it from the bottom, price can respect it from the top, price can slash right through it, your price can trade sideways through it, and so that's very important to identify. And we teach our traders in the price action trading course how to identify change control areas, because there are certain techniques that you can trade in and around them. Now this trade's a few weeks old. I've got an updated one and a couple of slides to go through it. But then Fibonacci, I think, most people have heard of Fibonacci. They know what Fibonacci are, but they may not necessarily know how to apply Fibonacci. And that seems to be the biggest problem that we see with people. They'll send a chart in and say, hey, can you look at my chart? And they've got Fibonacci anchors in the wrong place. And there's different kinds of Fibonacci's that we're going to talk about, during the rest of our presentation here. So essentially, though, you can take price action trading and adapt it to your style. Is your style intraday, or are you swing? Are you level to level? Are you looking for zones? What we're looking for is laser-focused, precise levels to do that. And so you've got to have the right tool, which NinjaTrader 8 is the right tools with the proper knowledge combined with ChartPros price action trading for each setup. And me personally, I monitor about 15 to 20 charts a day that I set alerts and styles across. I trade intraday and I trade swing. I'll trade Forex, I trade the futures, I'll trade commodities, I'll trade equities and equity options, more equity options, and I like those around earnings time frame because it can really get some good reward to risk ratios in my favor using some of the setups here. And when we talk about Fibonacci, because people will ask us about Fibonacci's a lot, and in our training, we go through basic and advanced Fibonacci. And when some of the things that we teach are swing versus impulse fibs, and those are very important where you start the anchors. And the concept of a validated fib, which takes the combination of a swing and an impulse, and where do we place the anchors? And it's really almost like math problems. And when you're working some of this, the mathematics of how this works, and I've been doing this for a while now, it still amazes me, how the math works from the Fibonacci. So what we'll do is we'll create bidirectional levels of interest. So we'll have bear fibs and we'll have bull fibs. And if we can get, where these fibs overlap each other in a concept that we call fib sequence validation, it really kind of mimics what we see the institutions do from the algorithm buying, because all they're doing, they're running these algorithms through their math formulas, but they're all based on Fibonacci's. And we don't have the golden rule or the secret, but if we identify these sequences, then more times than not we can enter into winning trades either long or short. But the whole goal is to identify confluence areas and putting them all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and take a look at some additional screenshots of chart markups. I want to make sure we've got our time for questions and answers. I know the moderator will help me with the time. And if time permits, we can look at some live charts as well too. But if you still haven't successfully achieved your level of desired consistency and profitability from standpoint, you may want to consider some of the technical analysis tools that we have available for you. So here's a picture, a screenshot of a UCAD chart that has the 5 tools that we talked about. This one's a couple of weeks ago, and I do have an updated one as well too. But we'll identify things like a gap in here with a support and resistance level. You know, we have a swing low to swing high Fibonacci run, and we saw this happen on June 10th. I actually entered right here, got long, had about 3 pips of drawdown. So when we talk about precision, level and focused levels, that's what we're talking about. And within a couple of days, it ran right up. And here's my, bidirectional levels in the other way, and I took part of my position off here. And this is not so much to brag about the trading and the trades. It's more about the charts and what we can, teach people on how to apply it to their own personal style of trading. Now, if you see what's happened, this is in the last couple of days. It came back down and tested that trend line that I had on here from a couple of weeks ago. And with the fibs that are coming down in here, again, it's kind of it just amazes me how that math works and continues to work over and over. Now here's one of the ES, and this is what everybody seems to want to ask and things. This was yesterday at the close, and I have a live shot of this, and not surprising to us, we saw a pullback in the market today. We've got our change control zone through here that we talked about earlier. We've got a gap identified. There are no bear fibs that are in play. They've all been breached. They're not active. And so we have some targets to the upside. And so the strategy that's been working that everyone asks us about is pullback longs, both intraday and swing term, from an ES perspective. And we've got some levels that are identified. These are basic support and resistance. We've got our gap. These Fibonacci's result indicate some bull targets up ahead. Doesn't mean that they'll stop and turn around there. My plan is not to short these, but for the people that are long, and we share with our trade members, these are bull targets. And this is a weekly trend, from way back when. So people ask, hey, what's your thoughts on the ES? Well, I have no clue what it's going to do, but from a statistical and mathematical and technical analysis standpoint, this is my viewpoint of it. Just an example of a corporate one. A lot of people ask, about Disney and, stuff like that. Just another example to put. This one's on a daily chart. And before we move into questions and answers, I do want to show one of the live charts, and I want to make sure that this comes over. This was an update from the ES chart. This is off my platform right now, and we had that trend line drawn. It's not surprising that we saw a pullback today, and we got a pullback right to our support and resistance. So, this is one of those things that's, this is easy to say and sometimes hard to do, okay? Because I kind of would imagine that you're understanding, the things I'm talking about, but when you start with just, a blank screen like this, here's a chart of Cisco, and say, okay, now what do I do? So this is a monthly chart that I've got right here, and so, just really quickly, I can mark this up in just a few moments and put in some support and resistance. We like to mark off our levels. I can put in some fibs. This would be a swing low to swing high. We can put in some validated fibs and see what that gives us. And we'll do this so we can have multiple levels that we're looking for. And then we've also got, those are all the bull ones, and we've got some bear fibs, and we can see that's been completed. And so this would be an area of interest for me right here. again, in just a few seconds or a few minutes to do this. You know, we would call, this is on a monthly, so for you swing traders, we would call this a supply zone. So if price were to come back up above this 61.8% retracement and maybe come up into there, then that may be an area of interest for me, but I can also take it down into lower time frames. I want to make sure we're good on time, and I've got some time reserved for questions, so we can open it up for that to our other panelists. So I'm checking the chat for questions. I don't know if we open it up for audio. So how is it called, the chart indicated, the 3 lines green, yellow? So what that is, that's a Fibonacci extension, and I've configured the colors to my style. And those are within the platform itself, and you can configure the colors to anything that you want. Someone's asking for a 5-minute chart. Sure, we can go to 5 minutes. So I've shared the screen here for 5 minutes, and you know, we can actually still chart, you know, the same way on 5 minutes that we could, you know, on the daily or the higher time frames. Mark off some support and resistance. We see it's come down here. Now, this is support and resistance that I had on a higher time frame, and you look, it's almost acted like a magnet today, where price was right down here and it's kind of chopped around. I personally don't trade on the 5 minute, but earlier today, and we saw where that daily trend line kind of got tagged, and then we had some weakness in the market, and it went right down to the daily support and resistance and kind of hung around here. So that's a lot of points to be had there. You don't have to capture them all, but if you can capture a good portion of them, we can even run, you know, some Fibonacci's off the 5 minute. We're going to run something like this. You know, we get a perfect retracement up to this 50%, and then it just comes down and meets these profit targets. Now, you know, so many times you hear the trend is your friend. You know, how can I look, you know, if the trend is down, how can I sell a lower high? Well, I can use Fibonacci's, and I had a chance right here to do it. It came back up to a retracement here, and usually a reversal zone is going to be somewhere in here. So depending on what your risk tolerance is and risk management approach, you know, we could have entered short right here with a really tight stop of 3 or 4 points. That's typically what I do, because, you know, we really focus on precise levels. And then I could have just rode this all the way down to the support and resistance, and it would have gotten out right here. Do I wait for confirmation? No, I enter on the first touch of my level. Do I have a training course to trade our strategy? Yes, we do. And everyone will get a free enrollment to the introductory course for that today. And you can go out to our website, StockChartPros.com. You can go out to the Ninja menu item here, and you can download the workspace that I used today. So if you want to load that up into your platform, you can do that. If you want to come in here and you get the free online course, the introduction to price action trading, it'll take you through, you know, the part of the certification course and some other information that just for time purposes, we didn't have time to cover today. There's additional information in there, and that's free to sign up. There's no credit card required. You can just do that. The tools are not proprietary. They are standard in NinjaTrader. That is correct. Do I use moving averages for trend? No, I don't. I try to use very little studies. Sometimes I will use stochastics because we'll look for divergence between momentum of the stochastic and price movement. I'll make sure I'm covering any other questions that I see in the chat. I can ask my panelists, do we have any audio related questions? And how are we on time? I want to make sure I'm mindful of everybody's time. Are we offering a discount to the mastery course today? Yes, if you take the trader readiness assessment, a component of that is actually a scholarship application. There's probably about, I don't know, 7 or 8 different questions. Probably take you less than 10 minutes, more than 5, less than 10 minutes to actually complete, and then you will be considered for a scholarship or a discount that you want to call it. And also what we do is you will also be put in, your name will be put into a hat to be drawn for like a $25 Amazon gift card for people that fill out that. And that's, again, all at our website for that. So I see we're good, and we have about 10 minutes left. That's fine. Are the support and resistance lines automatically updated in the chart? No, we put those in there at different time frames. And one of the things that we really stress with our traders is to have a chart library. And our chart library is essentially a spreadsheet, if you will, which whatever tool you want to use. But anything that you're trading and following and tracking, or I call stalking, if I'm stalking a pair or a particular equity, I'll keep a chart of it, from a monthly basis, a weekly basis, daily, 4-hour, and 1-hour, and I'll have a separate chart set for each one of those, depending on what my trade plan is. So if I'm going to swing trade it, I'm probably looking at the weekly basis. If I'm going to trade it intraday, I'm going to make my decision on a 4-hour chart, or probably make my entries on 1 hour and below. What's the smallest time frame that I use to trade? I'll trade intraday. I will trade 15 and 30 minutes when I'm looking and I have identified a fib validation sequence, because that tells me that the algorithms from the institutions are kind of in full force, and they work until they don't, and so you can trade them, and there's a it's nothing proprietary. It's just the technique that we've identified and that we teach how to identify it, and then what the process is once you identify that. It's kind of like an advanced Fibonacci. If you've ever heard of, impulse and swing fibs, those are pretty common, but we teach advanced Fibonacci's of low to low and high to high Fibonacci's. And again, the mathematics, it just amazes me how that works. Support and resistance. You could do all your plotting on one chart, but it gets kind of messy and it looks like a Skittles packet if I've got monthly all the way down. So what I'll do is, if I'm going to trade intraday, I will consolidate and start with my daily and weekly chart. So it just doesn't look as messy. The charts that were presented today were pretty clean. They were, predominantly geared towards a daily level, but we took it down to the 5 minutes, and we could mark that up as well too. Do we have training in Spanish? Unfortunately, no, we do not. So I have the original Forex Mastery course. Is there a big difference in what you have now? And yes, there is. If you want to shoot us an email from the website, reach out to us. There's actually kind of a frequently asked questions, and about half the people that have taken the previous version of this, it was called the Forex Mastery course, have taken this. So we've incorporated knowledge checks, we've incorporated homework assignments, we've incorporated live webinars like this. We just had a session the other day where you can ask me anything, where the instructors and coaches and traders are on there, and it's just really good open dialogue. And there's a lot more practice, and it finishes with a final exam. And if you have taken the Forex Mastery course, again, reach out to us, because there is a separate discount for people that have previously taken that. And to date, over 500 traders have completed that. So it's pretty tested. It's pretty tried and true. You can read the testimonials. They're all unsolicited that come to our website. Is this for S&P E-minis? Yes, it's for anything that you can chart. So what do I have to do to get the course? You can go to that website, the stockchartpros.com, and you can enroll in the introductory course for free, or you can just straight enroll into the Price Action Mastery course. All of that is off of our website that I have pulled up, and I can pull that up again here. So the Price Action Mastery course itself is right here. There's a course overview out here. Got the instructor bios, a little bit more about myself, what students are saying, the testimonials, what the graduates have said, course outline, so you can see the curriculum that's here. And I guess as an aside note, for the last 20 years, I've been involved with and have run as president and CEO e-learning and online training software companies. So we really upped our game from a online and e-learning training perspective, with this program. And it's funny because I tell all my friends and family, we were doing Zoom meetings, long before the pandemic and before Zoom really kind of blew up. So you can go out to our website here. This is the paid course. If you'd like to enroll in the free course, that's that banner across the top. There's another informational webinar, some more information, and you can just simply activate your free enrollment. Again, if you missed this part earlier, if you hit the NinjaTrader platform part of it, it had our link to sign up for today's webinar, but you can download the ChartPros workspace that I showed everybody today. It just takes you out to a product page. You add it to your cart, but there's no cost. You don't have to put in a credit card or anything like that. Let me check the chat. Here, I'm going to put the website out there. And then someone asked about pricing. We'll go through the pricing on that. So there's the website. I'm going to go back and we'll look at the pricing for that. It's pretty competitively priced. We've seen some other products where they're charging $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 for training like this. And my personal motivation is to help other traders. I'm not in this to make money, but I won't do it for free. So I think you can understand and appreciate that. So we do have some tuition options. You can enroll now with a one-time fee of $1,295, and if you paid up front, you're going to save $50. Or you can enroll now with a monthly payment plan spread out over 3 months. Is it possible to use the system to trade after hours? Yes, you can trade Forex. You can trade, the ES, NQ. Those trade 23 hours a day. So absolutely. You can get through the whole course in about a month if you really fast track it. One of the questions we ask people in the assessment is how many hours per week can you dedicate to learning new materials? And the more you can dedicate, well, the faster you're going to get through it. Do you use harmonics? No. We just use those 5 tools. The only indicator or anything other than those 5 tools, like I mentioned, is occasionally I'll use a stochastic tool to measure any potential divergence between price and momentum, but that's usually at a 4-hour chart or higher. So 4-hour and daily, and we call it juiciness. When we see divergence at those levels, we know that price will catch up with momentum. Do you use Nadex as a broker? I have used Nadex. I do have a Nadex account. You can use tick charts if you'd like. That's, again, adapting the technical analysis education to your style. I just happen to keep it to time frames, measured in minutes, hours, days, etc. Shortest time frame, I posted a winning chart yesterday that I took on a 5-minute opening after the NQ. And I've just got notice that we need to start wrapping up the presentation. So if you've got any final questions, get those in there. Show charts again that I missed. So here's a chart I haven't showed yet. Let's see, stop share. This is the Aussie dollar chart that's been very bullish for the last couple of months. And we've got some upward targets and we've got some bull fibs using trend, using Fibonacci, and that's really the only two tools that I have on this chart at this time. On my higher time frame chart library, I do have support and resistance. Trying to see if there's anything else I didn't show. Here's one I don't think I showed for Cisco. If I did, forgive me if I've already shown this one. Yeah, here's a supply zone I'd be interested in. Go back to, I don't think I showed, NQ is kind of a different animal. You see how it kind of, it breached some of its targets and resistance, and it's come back and it's kind of doing a retest. We might get some consolidation, through here. That's on a daily. I want to see if I can take it down to a 15-minute. Yesterday, I think this was my open here. This is a 15-minute chart. You could do it on 5. I had a level right there. I got long right here, and I took it up in this region on the 5-minute and hit the completion targets, and that was good for about 50 points on NQ. I don't have to catch a 400-point run, 20, 30, 40, 50 is good. One of the things we did with our technical analysis when oil tanked a couple of months ago, we had the bottom within, a quarter. And we're not into calling tops and bottoms. That's not what we're about. But we are in to try to identify levels using the math behind the tools. And again, it's all built into the platform here, and it has everything that we need. Can we get a scholarship? You need to apply for a scholarship at the website. You'll see it's called the Trader Readiness website. Is there a preference to NinjaTrader? I am fairly new to NinjaTrader, and I got to tell you, I really like the platform. It was very intuitive and quick and easy for me to learn. At the end of the day, support and resistance is support and resistance. I could use, you could do the old days, of paper and pencil if you wanted to. Whom to contact? I think they put the contact information link out there, and I'll put an email too.
Okay, Tom, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close out the room. I just want to thank everyone and thank especially Tom of ChartPros for a great presentation. Everyone in attendance here will receive an on-demand recording of today's event, so please keep an eye out for that email. NinjaTrader Ecosystem is pleased to sponsor these weekly vendor events as a value-added service for our clients, so if you do find value in them, we hope you'll attend them on a regular basis. We'd like to remind you the information provided in this was that of ChartPros and not of NinjaTrader. All information is for educational purposes and should not be construed as trading advice. Again, we do appreciate the time you spend with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope to see you in future webinars. Happy trading from everybody here at NinjaTrader. Have a great day, and a thank you again to Tom.
Thank you, everyone.